Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire Ashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy, text number 29 onwards. So after Brahmaji prayed, now the Lord is speaking to Brahmaji. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Ved Garbha Gastandrim Sargodyamam Avavaha Tanmaya Paditam Hyagre Yanmam Prarthayate Bhavan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you're begging from me has already been granted before. Any person authorized by either the Lord or by his bona fide representative is already blessed, as is the work entrusted to him. Of course, the person entrusted with such a responsibility should always be aware of his incapability and must always look for the mercy of the Lord for the successful execution of his duty. One should not be puffed up because he is entrusted with certain executive work. Fortunate is he who is so entrusted, and if he is always fixed in the sense of being subordinate to the will of the Supreme, he is sure to come out successful in the discharge of his work. Arjuna was entrusted with the work of fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and before he was so entrusted, the Lord had already arranged for his victory. But Arjuna was always conscious of his position as subordinate to the Lord, and thus he accepted him as a supreme guide in his responsibility. Anyone who takes pride in doing responsible work but does not give credit to the Supreme Lord is certainly falsely proud and cannot execute anything nicely. Brahma and persons in the line of his disciplic succession who follow in his footsteps are always successful in the discharge of loving transcendental service to the Supreme Lord. So that's the difference between devotee and demoniac demons. Devotee, he is always begging the Lord for the mercy, for the strength, for the intelligence, for the knowledge to carry out the services which are given by the Lord himself. And Prabhupada says, when a person is entrusted with responsibility, either by the Lord or by his bona fide representative, they always, along with the service, along with the order, comes the strength to take care of that order, to implement that order. But a devotee is always cautious, is always aware of the fact that he is incapable of even carrying out the orders. So he prays to the Lord for his mercy, for the strength, for the eligibility, qualification to carry out the order. So this is what the relationship, when the relationship becomes very sweet. A demon, on the other hand, they are not given the responsibility. They forcibly take some work and they never give credit. They never pray to the Lord. They never give credit to the Lord for anything. Without Krishna's mercy, without the strength given by Krishna, even demons cannot carry out any activity. He clearly says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. From him comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So knowledge to carry out anything, any activity, comes from him. But demons, they never acknowledge that. And that's why they're called demons. They say Siddhoham, Balvanaham, Aham Sukhi. This is what we studied in chapter 16 of Bhagavad Gita. They always claim that it's by their doing they are achieving, or um, they are successful. But it's never like that. In older days, demons would always pray not to Vishnu, but at least to Brahmaji or Shivji to get the powers. Because they knew without the mercy of either Brahmaji or Shivji, they will not get the powers. But nowadays, demons, we are all, and we are very small demons actually. We pray, well, not in America, they don't pray to anybody. They just carry out their activities and they become successful, but by the mercy of Krishna. And if we study that chapter, 10th chapter and 11th chapter of Gita, where Krishna is explaining clearly how everything in our body is controlled by him. He's saying, I'm the strength of the strong. I'm the fire which digests the food. Without Krishna being there for us to be able to digest our food, what in the world we would be able to do anything? We would be just lying down on our beds, won't even be able to get up to do anything. But the demons or the people with demonic mentality, they take everything for granted. And they say I'm a self-made man and I'm doing everything. We can't even digest our food. We can't even breathe without Krishna's mercy. We cannot even move our hand, front of our hand. We cannot even move a finger without Krishna's mercy. Forget about doing big things, big projects, or achieving big milestones. And Prabhupada says, not just if the work is entrusted by Krishna, even if it is entrusted by his bona fide representative, the person who's going to carry out the duties is already blessed. Prabhupada is giving his example. Well, Prabhupada didn't give his example. Prabhupada gave example of Arjuna. But if we look at Prabhupada's example, Prabhupada was given this order by his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in 1922 at the roof of that house at Ulta Danga Road in Calcutta, to go to the Western world and to preach the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in English language. And before Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left his body, Prabhupada had written a letter to him, and he got the reply 2 weeks before Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj left his body, in which he basically repeated the same instruction. So that happened in 1933. And still, Prabhupada could not come to America till 1965. 43 years later, after he got the first order. But he came, nevertheless, he came. And he became successful. He preached all over the world, not just in the Western countries. He preached all over the world. He established the wonderful movement of ISKCON. He wrote so many books, initiated so many disciples. He taught them everything from scratch. He opened 108 temples in a small span of 12 years, all over the world, not just in America, all over the world, not just in one city of America, all over America and all over the world. 108 temples, farm communities, Govinda restaurants. They established business of incense um, and paintings, and he taught his disciples everything from scratch. How to even put on dhoti, how to apply tilak, how to chant, how to put on kantimala. To ladies, he taught them how to put on sari, how to cook, how to keep the accounts in the of the temple, how to how to do paintings, how to do book editing. And he always gave credit to his Guru Maharaj. That was that was his humility and his surrender. And because of that surrender to his Guru Maharaj, he was so successful. People still wonder how this movement just took up like a wildfire when Srila Prabhupada was there. Book distribution, amazing book distribution was going on at that time. Disciples, the people were joining the movement left and right. And Prabhupada would meet his disciples. Okay, you go, like Hridayanand Maharaj, he said, you go and open South America. As if South America was just a little street. It's a whole continent by itself. And Prabhupada gave him order, go open South America. And he went. He gave orders to Bhurujan Prabhu, go to Hong Kong, preach over there. He gave order to Sudama Maharaj, go to Japan, preach over there, open the centers, preach. He went to Russia. Nobody could even think of going to Russia. Forget about any sannyasi going to Russia at that time. It was Soviet Union. He stayed there with Shyamsundar Prabhu for almost like a week or so. And last day when he was going to leave, Shyamsundar Prabhu brought one person who somehow got interested. And Prabhupada spent time with him, explained to him the movement, and Prabhupada interested him. And when Prabhupada left, he alone, he took up the mission of Prabhupada in Soviet Union. He recently left his body. Prabhupada empowered him. In Soviet Union, nobody ever thought of, nobody even heard of. Having the movement growing, and it grew so rapidly in Soviet Union. Nowadays, it is said in Moscow, city of Moscow alone, there are about 5 to maybe more than now. There are about maybe 6, 7, 8,000 devotees chanting 16 rounds minimum every day. That's just in Moscow, and there would be many more who are chanting less than 16 rounds. St. Petersburg, Leningrad, so many cities. And then Prabhupada told Tamalkash Maharaj, go to China and preach. Tamalkash Maharaj went to China to preach. There were so many obstacles, there were so many attempts to arrest devotees and put them in prison, but somehow they escaped. In Soviet Union, they could not escape. So many devotees, they left their bodies. They were in the prison in Siberia. If you read that book, The Salted Bread, it's amazing. Prabhupada told, what's his name? Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, he was a black body, American, a PhD. At that time, nobody heard of black African Americans doing PhD. He was PhD, not even from some small college, from a huge university, big university. I'm forgetting the name. Very reputed university. And Prabhupada told him, go to Romania and preach. And Bhakti Tirth Maharaj used to tell us that because he was black and it was a communist country, it was very difficult, but he was still preaching. He would sit in the toilet at the airport to chant his rounds because he didn't want to be seen outside with his beads. And then he went to Africa to preach. Prabhupada sent 3 couples in 1968 when we didn't even have our own Bhagavad Gita published. He sent them to London to preach. How much knowledge they must be having? Hardly any. But they had full faith in Prabhupada. And they became so successful. They preached to Beatles, George Harrison, and through George Harrison, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and that album became #1 in the whole world. Everybody was singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra through George Harrison. That was success. And people were donating money left and right. People were giving houses. George Harrison gave such a huge mansion. Radha Prabhu has been there, and Bhaktivedanta Manor. Ambrish Prabhu, great grandson of Henry Ford, he joined Prabhupada in Detroit and he bought him and Lekha Shivanti Mataji. Ambrish Prabhu, he is a great grandson of Henry Ford, and Lekha Shivanti Mataji was daughter of the president of the workers' union at Ford factory. Means the owner and the labor, union labor representative, they are always fighting, but they're descendants. They were disciples of Prabhupada. And they both bought this mansion, Fisher Mansion in Detroit for Prabhupada. Huge, huge building. There's so many, thousands of stories, how devotees, Prabhupada would just send them, okay, go there and open the place. Like Deen Bandhu Prabhu who's in Vrindavan, he was telling Prabhupada, not Prabhupada told him, the temple president, he was in Denver and temple president told him, go to Austin and open. Deen Bandhu Prabhu just picked up the car and with some books in the car and he left. That's it, no money. You have to distribute books, get your money and start the center. That was the instruction. Oh no, I'm sorry. He went to Houston. Austin was by Vishnujan Maharaj. This is how the movement went on because everybody was directly empowered by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is still empowering everybody. This movement is still Prabhupada's movement. Prabhupada from Bombay, he got an invitation to go to Amritsar and he went to Amritsar by train. He met very influential people there. On the way back, the train stopped at Delhi station and he told Gurudas Prabhu, get down and start preaching in Delhi. Gurudas Prabhu had no contact. He was given just one contact of some Mr. Gupta who had a desire to become a life member. That's it. And he got down in Delhi and Prabhupada gave him one more brahmachari, Indian body brahmachari, and they both started their preaching, going here, there. They would sleep at the in front of the shops. In India, the shops in the front, there's some wooden platform. At night, they would sleep over there. And this is how they started preaching in Delhi. Now look at the preachers, the number of devotees in Delhi, number of temples, number of devotees. It's amazing. How Prabhupada got the land for Juhu temple, how Prabhupada got the land for Mayapur temple. You should read. Your hair will really stick up. You'll get goosebumps. How devotees did everything for Prabhupada. This really, this whole purport, actually it exemplifies Prabhupada. how Prabhupada did serve his spiritual master and how his disciples serve Prabhupada. It's amazing. And Prabhupada really empowered them. It just depends upon our surrender, how much surrendered we are. Similarly, in the same proportion, we'll get the empowerment to do amazing services, amazing achievements, which one cannot even think of. That the devotees, materially, they're not even qualified. And they would do big things. They would defeat so many big scholars. Prabhupada himself defeated scholars, big scholars in debate. And whether the scholars were from the field of science or from theology or theosophy or philosophy or any other field, Prabhupada would defeat them. Or whether they were pastors or fathers or sannyasis from other sampradaya, philosophically Prabhupada would defeat them. Because he was empowered, because he was always given, from within he was given the power or knowledge by his guru or Krishna himself. Even if we look at the number of books Prabhupada wrote, on Prabhupada's disappearance day, somebody had posted the number of books Prabhupada wrote. And if we just take Srimad Bhagavatam, if we read it, it will take I don't know how many years. If we read, I don't know, one page or how many verses a day, some analysis was given. In every single sentence, every single word of every single sentence of Prabhupada's commentaries are amazing. They're right to the point. How is it possible? And then that too, when Prabhupada wasn't sitting at one place and just dictating, he was constantly traveling. 14 times he traveled all over the world. And then he was dictating the commentaries, he was teaching his disciples, he was doing so much, giving interviews, giving lectures, recording his bhajans and kirtans. So that's when it is understood. And with the order comes the strength to execute that order. It depends upon how surrendered we are. More surrendered we are, more strength will come and more achievements one can get. But the surrender means one does not take the credit. One understands this is happening is by mercy of Prabhupada, or by mercy of Krishna, by mercy of Guru Parampara. So we start with little surrender, and we take up some service, and some success is there. Now that is a test that we understand this is by mercy of Prabhupada, or this is my doing. And if we understand this is by mercy of Prabhupada, Prabhupada can give more power and more orders to carry out bigger orders or bigger tasks. So this is a whole crux of how to make advancement in spiritual life. So it was such an important point and verse and the purport that I decided to stay out for one verse only. So anyway, anybody has any questions or comments?
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one line on Lord Srila Prabhupada when you mentioned that I think after 43 years he just went and continued with this legacy of creating and 108 temples across the world. And
Yeah.
so I think, Prabhu, this is what I mean. That's a very big thing. A common man cannot think about it because it's beyond imagination. It requires. I mean, definitely he is something. कहते हैं ना कि एक चमत्कारी अवतार or something. He was an avatar actually of some that kind of person, that kind of power. Nobody can have it. But एक चीज तो realize होती है, which our parents also say all of the time. My father says always कि everything is destined. मतलब सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है and it will happen at that exact moment, exact time. So why you हम anxiety, why हम परेशान क्यों हो जाते हैं? Why we think about it? Everything will happen on its own. उन्होंने लॉर्ड ने everything he has सब कुछ लिख रखा है सही टाइम पे जब जो होना है. So while I was listening to today's class, I felt so relaxed, Prabhuji, that I mean, if a person thinks about कि जब सब वही कर रहे हैं तो why we are so हर एक चीज के लिए we are just running behind everything कि ये ऐसा हो जाए, ये ऐसा हो जाए, then it will be fine. Everything should be at the right place. Everything should happen at the way we want it. So, but if we just forget everything, then it's just simple. I mean, we just smile and we just laugh and keep it calm down. But ऐसा होगा.
Everything will happen, yes. Like it's said by Mahaprabhu that, or Nityanand Prabhu said, Mahaprabhu's name will be sung all over the world in every town and village. But a devotee still takes the anxiety or takes the burden on himself that he will do it. He will help at least to carry out this instruction. So everything will happen doesn't mean that we become lazy and sit on our behinds and not do anything. That's also not the practical thing.
Absolutely, Prabhuji. वो तो है ही, because as per Mahabharat, as per the instruction he mentioned, you do your prusharth and just don't be lazy. उससे तो काम नहीं चलेगा. But
Yeah.
other way around, परेशान भी नहीं होना है and then don't
Yeah,
chase
have full
anything.
faith. Full faith has to be there in Krishna.
Yeah,
But work has to be carried out.
exactly. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for today's class.
Thank you. Any other question or comment? I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Jai Shri.
Jai
Thank
Shri
you.
Prabhupada.